Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sandlot Report here on the Majors TV. I am Adam Hernandez. With me is Dorf. Getting at it again this week. We've got a big baseball week, perhaps the biggest week of the year, with the World Series now on tap. Two teams. We finally know who's going at it. We've got the Houston Astros out of the American League, and we have the Los Angeles Dodgers out of the National League. And it seems like
series kicks off Tuesday.
Yeah, series kicks off Tuesday in LA, and it seems like LA's been a long time coming right now for them to finally get into the Fall Classic.
Both these teams have really been a long time coming. However, two very, very different routes.
Yes.
The Dodgers, while they do have a lot of homegrown talent, have also supplemented that with huge splurges in free agent spending. Hell, they've got a $20 million pitcher who's not even on the playoff roster. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Houston Astros, who've also done it largely on homegrown talent, also did a great strategic free agent spending over these last couple of years with acquisitions like Josh Reddick, Brian McCann, and Carlos Beltran to help lead them to almost to the mountaintop.
Yep. We'll find out here in about another week whether or not they were able to finally get to that, get the holy grail of all of baseball. But like we said, Dorf, the World Series is set, and right now we're just going to roll through some basic predictions here. We'll go offense, starting pitching, bullpen when it comes to these two teams. Starting off with the offense, who do you think has the edge between Houston and the Dodgers?
Both very, very, very talented offenses. Mm-hmm. A lot of that has to do, I'm going to kind of give you a conditional statement here. Is Corey Seager healthy? Corey Seager missed the NL Championship Series with a bad back.
Yep. Wasn't even on the roster.
Wasn't even on the roster. Our Charlie Culberson started most of the time in his place. Mm-hmm. With that in mind, if Corey Seager plays and is somewhat effective, I'm going to give the edge to the Dodgers. However, if he doesn't, I'm going to go Astros. Roster decisions, I don't believe are due till Monday, so we won't even know until after this is recorded. So it's
good enough. I mean, you set the groundwork for it. If Seager's in, it's the Dodgers. If
not,
he's not, it's the Astros.
It's the Astros.
So, okay. Starting pitching. Both these teams are very top heavy when it comes to starting pitching. Who do you think ultimately has is this going to get to who has the better secondary guys in the rotation, or is it going to come down to who has the best top of the rotation guys?
I think it's going to come down to who has the best secondary guys, because it's going to be all hands on deck. Whoever they're going to throw against Clayton Kershaw in Game 1, because Kershaw is going to be able to pitch on full rest. I believe Dallas Keuchel will be able to actually pitch on full rest as well, or you can have Justin Verlander on one day short. Mm-hmm. Whoever they decide to try and counter Clayton Kershaw with, Kershaw's still going to have an edge, but at the same time, if you set yourself after that, you're going to have an edge in game. The Astros will have an edge in Game 2, 3, and 4. The Dodgers, especially now that these guys down the rotation haven't pitched in going on 2 weeks, mm-hmm. whereas the Astros, like Charlie Morton and Lance McCullers, arguably your 3 and 4, both pitched in Game 7. They're going to be more kind of still in the routine, ready to go, and that'll give them the edge, especially early in the contest, where guys like down the rotation, like Kenta Maeda hasn't pitched in a while. Mm-hmm. Hell, I don't even know what rotation they're going to roll out there after that. It's kind of up in the air after Clayton Kershaw starting Game 1.
Yeah, and again, we still have to wait for rosters and everything to come out.
Yeah, well, I mean, rosters and projected starting pitchers will be out probably tomorrow, but sure. At the same time, we're not privy to that information at recording.
So who are you going with starting pitching wise?
I'm going to go edge. I'm going to go Houston.
Houston, okay.
I really do like Houston.
Okay.
Now, Kershaw's still the best pitcher in the series. Edge overall, team-wise, to the Astros.
Okay. Bullpen.
I'm going to go Dodgers. Believe it or not, the Dodgers and the Astros both have highly flawed bullpens. However, the back end of the game is not in doubt when Kenley Jansen takes the mound.
Absolutely.
Both teams have about an equally talented middle relief core and have supplemented that with starting pitching down, in the playoffs. However, Ken Giles is shaky. He got tagged pretty good by the Yankees in that series, despite them winning 4-3. Mm-hmm. Kenley Jansen has been pretty untouchable in the playoffs, and especially when you see him 2 innings a night. I think it's the edge.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Dave Robinson has been he hasn't been hesitant to go to Kenley Jansen. on more than one inning.
Absolutely not.
So and you have to figure that's going to definitely play into a factor.
And at the same time, Jansen's been twiddling his thumbs for 4 days. He's going to be ready to go.
Yep, absolutely. So, final prediction here. Who are you giving the World Series to? How many games, Dorf?
I'm going to give go Houston Astros in 6.
Houston Astros in 6?
Absolutely, yes. Realistically, I think Kershaw will win 2 games. Mm-hmm. Astros are going to win the other 4.
I'm going to go with the Dodgers in 7.
All
right. Well, you know what? This is something that I wanted to do if we're able to get more shows on during the during the entirety of the postseason. We just weren't able to get around to it. But a little in memoriam for the Yankees and the Cubs.
A moment of silence.
But anyways, though,
I'm not giving him a moment of silence. I despise both those franchises.
Yeah, Tigers fan.
Cubs, not because of anything Cubs have done. I hate your fans, and the Yankees, you're the evil umpire. Everybody hates you.
I was going to say, your National League team is the Cardinals, so you shouldn't like the Cubs. And you're a Tigers fan, so naturally, if you're anybody in the American League just about, you shouldn't like the Yankees.
But anybody in anywhere, you shouldn't like the outside. True. If you don't live in New York, shouldn't like the Yankees.
I mean, are San Diego Padre fans really that down on Yankees fans, though? Or the Yankees in general?
It's still the evil empire, man.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. Yankees, though.
Darth Steinbrenner.
Yankees, though, heading into next season, how are you feeling that team? Because it seems like the Yankees, by all account, are ahead of schedule with all of this.
They're at least a year and a half ahead of schedule where they should be. And with that in mind, you have a deep-pocketed owner. They're going to go back to historic trends. If there's a slight hole in this team at all, they're going to pour and pour and pour money on it to make it go away. Those prime candidates for upgrade this offseason, that includes third base, in the rotation pitching. I think their bullpen is good enough, but at the same time, you can never have too much bullpen.
That's true.
And you're probably going to see you're going to have checks written to guys like Chase Headley, Todd Frazier, Jacoby Ellsbury to bye-bye. You'll probably see them add talent in center field, like I said, starting pitching, and they're going to get they're going to bid, at least be in the bidding more for the best reliever money can buy.
Yep, because their Game 7 starter, CeCe Sabathia, is a free agent after
the
season.
He's a free agent, and he's 37.
Yep, so I can't imagine the Yankees bringing him back. So the Yankees are going to be good to go next season.
Absolutely. At the same time, their help from within, they've kind of delayed what they can get help from within, and during the trades during the season, all their big league ready guys they dealt them. They dealt most of them. Mm-hmm. So especially in the pitching area, don't be surprised if they don't flex some of that financial muscle.
I was either
taking somebody's bad deal or going and dumping a bunch of money.
I was going to say that's okay though. If you're an owner that's willing to spend money, you can go ahead and make those trades. Keep a lot of those young players that are already here and kind of fill in the holes with checks being written.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Cubs.
Yes.
What do you see them going next season?
Well, they've already fired their pitching coach. I don't think that has to do with a lot with talent. I think that is poor management. Mm-hmm. Joe Madden, I think, overthought his bullpen and pitching staff management throughout the season.
He seems like a very different manager when it comes to the regular season and the postseason.
Oh, Joe Madden, the regular season manager, I love him, but Joe Madden, the postseason manager, makes me want to pull my hair out.
He was even doing it last season, the way he was running out Aroldis Chapman out there, mm-hmm. The amount that he did.
I don't necessarily disagree with Chapman's usage, just kind of some other puzzling decisions. At the same time, who closed out this game, the final game of their World Series victory? Mike Montgomery? He's a swingman, and you're going to have him get arguably the most important out in the last 100 years of your franchise. Okay.
867-5309.
Yeah. At the same time, they've already fired their pitching coach at this. Jake Arrieta's a free agent. I don't expect him to be back after kind of how things ended there. I had a down year. Mm-hmm. I bet you he's just going to go high. If the Cubs are the highest bidder, right, he's going to end up with the highest bidder. If that's the Cubs, he might return. But if not,
maybe the Yankees.
There's no hometown discount. I don't know. Fly ball pitcher in a bandbox.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a great fit. Hasn't stopped the Yankees before though.
No.
At the same time, I think they're also going to have to be in a position where they have too much aging, declining talent that's keeping their young ready-to-go guys off the field.
Well,
There's no excuse that Ian Happ down the stretch was not playing every day.
This is another team too that made a lot of deals at the deadline, got rid of a lot of their younger talent.
Absolutely.
Are they going to be hampered a little bit by some
not
of those
necessarily
deals?
Because the guys that they traded for are all still going to be around.
Okay.
And their core was all prior to free agency anyway, so they're going to be able to not necessarily need those guys. Like they dealt their top couple prospects. Dylan Cease was 3 to 4 years away from being ready. Heimer Candelario was blocked. He had nowhere to go. He's not going to unseat Chris Bryant or Anthony Rizzo. So you might as well get something for him because he's going to expire on you pretty quick. And at the same time, the other guy that I forget his name, 3 to 4 years out. Who cares? The outfielder, 3 to 4 years out. You weren't going to use him or need him in that time before you can restock anyway. So it's not it was prospects well spent.
For sure. All right. Cubs then next season, are they still going to be competing?
They will still be competing mostly because the NL Central is a disaster. Cardinals are probably going to blow it up this offseason. The Brewers were kind of fool's gold in my estimation. They weren't terribly talented, and they kept winning anyway. Pittsburgh's about to have to blow it up as well. And, the Reds are the Reds. So,
all right. Well, keeping in this whole offseason, kind of carousel thing that we have going here, baseball managers. We've seen some get hired. We've seen some going to get hired. And we've seen some get fired. Over in Detroit, we've had Ron Gardenhire once again find a managerial job, taking over for Brad Ausmus. Going to be the next Tigers manager for at least the next 3 seasons. If you listen to Motor City Uncut.
Here are comments on Motor City Uncut.
Yes.
We don't like it.
No, neither of us like it. Like I said, we're both Tigers fans, so we're privy to a lot of the stuff that happens here in Detroit. We're not privy to the back end stuff, but a lot of the local reporting, a lot of the local reaction, we're in tune with. A lot of fans haven't liked it. A lot of fans have liked it.
It's very, very mixed bag in the guy.
Yes.
The guy's been in the job in the offseason for, 2 days?
Yeah.
A lot of not happy people already.
Dorf and I don't like it because we wanted this team to go a more analytical approach.
Let's call it New Age direction.
Yes. Yep. New Age direction. Ron
this
Gardner.
is very much a old school move.
Absolutely. We're not sure the direction the Tigers are really going.
Rudderless ship.
So, other than that, though, go listen to Motor City Uncut for our full opinion on it.
Motor City Uncut 152.
Yep. Alex Cora, though, going to get hired with Boston. I believe he's going to be getting a 3-year deal as well. Does this surprise you a little bit, given Dabrowski being there as the general manager?
No, not really. Realistically, Alex Cora was due for his first shot. Dave Dombrowski, I think, is overreacting. I think Ron Gardenhire would have been a decent fit there. He also would be a good fit in D.C. With teams that are already ready to go, ready to win now, where the priority, the job of the manager isn't to grow with the team, is just to not fuck it up.
Yeah.
With that being in mind, I think you're going to give a inexperienced manager who's only been a bench coach for 3 seasons?
Something like that, yeah.
The chance to ruin something that's already pretty well assembled. See Detroit Tigers on the ending of a dynasty by giving the keys to a rookie.
Yeah, let's see. We've seen this before. I don't know if Dave.
But at the same time, handing the keys to a Mercedes to a one Mike Matheny won you a lot of baseball games.
Yeah. They won a World Series, too, with Mike Matheny.
Yes, they did.
So
they went to another one, too.
I guess you win some, you lose some. Mickey Callaway, just hired today by the Mets, former pitching coach of the Cleveland Indians. Yep. Again, it seemed like the Mets were going to be all in on Manny Acta. By the sound of the interview, it sounded like he did very well. They decided to go a different direction, though. Hire Mickey Callaway. I don't really know what to make of this one, other than
look at Terry Francona's former pitching coaches and how they do as managers. Not to say that's damning of Mickey Callaway, but you're going into a shit show and the evidence is there that it won't be terribly successful.
Two guys who are canned, Dusty Baker, John Farrell. Do these guys pick up anywhere this season, or is Dusty?
I think Dusty Baker's old enough that he'll be. I don't think he may not be interested in pursuing coaching anymore. At the same time, like it's a rough life to make the playoffs back-to-back years, despite all the injuries in your franchise, and not be able to advance past the first round, still getting canned. Life isn't fair, man.
No, it's not.
I know it's easy for us to say on the outside that, damn, 2 playoff wins, but 2 playoff appearances in 2 years, and getting canned anyway. But at the same time, I think Dusty Baker's just going to be at that age that he was out of the game for a couple years before Washington hired him.
Yeah, he was doing TV work.
Yeah,
and he very well may go back to that too.
Yeah,
but that city might just be cursed too. Washington, when it comes to winning big games,
it's not getting hurt, man. Always hurt. All of them.
Oh,
the whole Nationals organization, they're always hurt.
Yeah, they are.
They're on their 7th center fielder.
I'm also talking about Washington sports in general.
Yeah, Washington sports. Yeah.
John Farrell, though, fired by the Red Sox. A lot of people thought that
he'll be somebody's pitching coach within 2 years. He was a highly successful pitching coach before he managed, won a World Series as a manager. He'll be back in, if not this offseason. Like, honestly, look at him to end up in Detroit as a pitching coach.
Okay.
Or another fresh spot. Or hell, Mickey Callaway might hire him. He's from the Terry Francona's tree, and they know there's at least that connection. Or hell, Terry Francona's good for a pitching coach. There you go.
Maybe he goes to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, Dorf, an interesting idea, an interesting notion came across with Baseball America, and it had to do with realignment. Had to do with expansion and
realignment.
Expansion and realignment. Because baseball hasn't added a team, I believe, since 97?
The Rays were the last team.
It was the Rays and the Diamondbacks.
Yep.
Rays and the Diamondbacks were the last two expansion teams in Major League Baseball, and that was in the late 90s. So you might figure...
Going on 20 years.
Yes, you might figure that baseball would be due for 2 more expansion teams just to keep things
Just don't do the NHL thing where you only had 1.
I hate that too.
Well, I mean, you can do it in a sport where you don't play every night. You can't do it in baseball.
Exactly. So, Baseball America came up with a very, very interesting realignment proposal if they were to add 2 new teams. And
all based on the assumption that the 2 new teams, one would be in Montreal, the other would be in Portland, Oregon.
Yes. And here's how they shaped things up, because essentially what they would be doing is getting rid of the American National Leagues. In the East...
Please, do it already. You don't even need expansion. Just make both sides play by the same rule. Make them play by the same rules. Look, I don't care if there's a DH or not. Just make them play by the same.
No, I'm with you on that, Dorf. Look, I'm okay with.
But that's not what this topic's about.
I kind of want them to keep the American and National namesake. Just get rid of
Hey, National League, come to the modern era.
Yes.
Don't make your pitcher sit.
Yep. So in the East,
there's like 2 of them that do it well.
Under this proposal, in the East you would have Atlanta, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Miami, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, and Washington. All of those teams. Actually, this is the one.
So we're doing 18 divisions.
Yes. In the North, you'd have Boston, Cleveland, Detroit, Minnesota, Montreal, both New York franchises, and Toronto.
Okay.
In the Midwest, you'd have both Chicago teams, Colorado, Houston, Kansas City, Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Texas. And in the West, you would have Anaheim, Arizona, Los Angeles, Oakland, Portland, San Diego, San Francisco, and Seattle. I noticed something there. They probably should have said both Los Angeles franchises.
Oh, whatever.
But other keys to this realignment.
It's the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
It's not called that anymore.
Oh, not? It's just LA Angels?
Yep, Los
Angeles
that's right. Angels.
God, that's like 6 years old, Adam. Way to go.
I thought they should have kept the Anaheim Angels. I thought that sounded nice.
Don't they technically play in Anaheim?
Yes, they do.
Losers.
Key elements of this 156-game schedule would include 24 total games.
Oh, yeah, 150, so that's a reduction of 6 games.
Yep. 24 total games against the 8 teams in each of their of the 3 other divisions, 3 games against each opponent. The schedule will include 12 games, 6 home and 6 road against each of the 7 divisional opponents. The format would provide an off day every week, such as every Monday or Thursday, and would fit into the same footprint for beginning and ending the 2018 schedule. The season could start on a weekend, which would offset only one 3-game series played the week of the All-Star game. The 156-game schedule would reduce each team's slate by 6 games, but revenue could be made up by a major reduction in travel costs because
you're only flying in the same time zone or north and south in most cases.
Exactly. Fan interest could be maintained by allowing for the 4 first-place teams in each division to advance to the postseason and having play-in games against the 8 remaining teams with the best records. So again, they're trying to capitalize off that one night that they had.
Oh, geez, Wild Card Night's amazing.
Yeah. Let's see. The winners of the 4 Wild Card games would advance to the Division Series, which would feature a Wild Card team against each division champion. Those 4 winners would advance to the Championship Series, and the winners of that round would meet in the World Series, exactly how it is now. That would add postseason product to the broadcast packages and provide postseason hope for 12 of the 32 franchises, which could boost attendance in September, again offsetting any impact from the season being 6 games shorter. With a day off every week, there would be...
Realistically, you're only losing 3 home games.
Yes.
3 home gates. They're likely you're losing midweek games. Who cares?
Yep.
You're not making any money those days anyway.
With a day off every week, there would be a regular rest routine, much like prior to expansion, when teams would often play Sunday doubleheaders and Monday would be off. It could be used for travel, so teams did not have to make long flights arriving in cities at 3 a.m. or later. And
just look at the numbers on teams' performances after flights. They suck.
And the schedule would drastically reduce travel while keeping teams in their time zones, except for the Rockies and Twins. They, however, would be playing teams in a time zone an hour earlier, much is less demanding than an hour later, and also provides increased TV ratings because of primetime viewing. The other intra-division teams would have to travel to Colorado or Minnesota just 6 games per year. All teams would open the season with an inter-division series, and all out-of-division road trips would be 2 city trips. So, it seems very plausible. I mean, it's a very, very good idea. Again, I know what a lot of people are going to have a problem with, and that's going to be the 12 teams being included in the postseason. Because I know a lot of
it's honestly it's a reduction of teams. You know what? 8 teams postseason. 4 teams of the postseason is 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1 day.
Yep.
Then you get back to you have 8 teams left, which is what it is now.
And I'm assuming that would go to the best of 5 in the divisional series, and the best of 7 in the
could
champion
be either
World
or.
Series. Yep.
You're expanding. You're right. 4 instead of 2 teams now playoffs only being 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4. Whoop-de-doo.
I like it.
And you're going to see a more aggressive trade market and more hot stove action and more teams not giving up.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's something new. It's something that baseball needs. I mean, I'm always one
and at the same time, you can argue the product in the middle of the summer shit.
Yeah,
guys are fucking exhausted. They're playing 17 out of 18 days and traveling to 4 different cities in that stretch. They're exhausted.
And I always thought the season is too long anyway. I mean,
you're only cutting a week. You're not even cutting a week out.
Yeah.
You're just giving them more off days. Right now, it's 18 off days throughout the year, and it would go to then 24.
But I always thought they should reduce the games anyway that they play. Something I'd like to see. I would like to see them cut back on how long into October that they end up playing. Instead of seeing games,
you're gonna have a World Series game if it goes to Game 6. Game 6 is in November.
Yeah, I think that's way too long. Way too long. Luckily, they're not playing in an East Coast city this year.
They're playing in Houston and LA.
They're playing in Houston, who has a retractable roof at least, because I know in Houston it can get cold probably sometimes in late October, early November, but.
You're in SoCal and Texas.
Yeah, you're not going to be finding that problem. But anyways, I like the idea. I don't know if baseball's going to employ this methodology. I'm sure they won't. I'm sure they'll just go ahead. But they have to
divisionally realign.
Yes, they would have to realign. I mean, they could do the NFL.
They could do the realignment without the changes to the regular season schedule.
And they
But
could.
the only logical fit for a 6 is 8 or 6 divisions.
And I bet they use the NFL model in that sense.
The 8 4-teamers.
Yes, I bet that's what they do. I can't see them going this route though. This is just too innovative. I mean, we've had shows about this before where baseball
is too it's stuck in its ways and crusty.
Exactly. I mean, I can't. I mean, Rob Manfred really hasn't shown the ability yet, at least,
at the same time,
be innovative enough to do something like this.
100+ years of tradition ingrained in the sport that you can't change overnight.
Yeah.
This isn't like the XFL where you can drastically change the product overnight in an attempt to make it cool. This is baseball. It's been fundamentally the same game, 27 outs each side, 9 innings, whoever's ahead after 9 forever. And, you playing in the traditional, national until, and then in the 70s, the DH came around in the AL, but things really fundamentally haven't changed ever, and really haven't changed even slightly in a long time.
It seems like, though, if they do this model, you're going to have to choose what you want to do as far as the DH.
You only need to carry 4 starting pitchers.
Yeah, that's true.
That's 1 immediate. You only need 4.
Yeah, that's true.
You have an off day every week. You only need 4.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I actually kind of like that. I kind of like that, actually.
8 or 9 man bullpens. I think games are slow now.
Anyways, that's going to do it this week, guys, for the Sandlot Report. You know what? We're gonna have to do this again at some point.
Probably post World Series recap.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a World Series recap, so stay tuned. Probably not next week, but maybe the following week. And that'll probably be the last show for
at least until winter meetings.
Yeah, at least until the winter meetings. So, anyways, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/TheMajorsTV. Check us out on Twitter @TheMajorsTV. Check out our website as well, themajors.net. Anyways, so for Dorf, I'm Adam. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy that World Series. We'll see you next time.